There's always weird and wonderful, wacky things going on in the realm of PG, but I think I may have been given the most interesting task of all. Finding a home for our giant purple goat. Unfortunately, it can no longer stay with us at the office, and we thought it only right to find it a forever home. So, how did we do that?
And so, after weeks of searching, we finally found a forever home for our giant purple goat right here in the Buttercup Sanctuary for Goats. Essentially, a disabled goat farm. So, naturally, what else would we do than test the goat's knowledge
Hi, sir.
of inclusion?
So what do you think about long-term influence partnerships? Yeah, great. So what do you think about disability representation within the influence marketing space? Amazing, thank you so much. What do you think about having brand ambassadors for your brand? Yeah. Amazing, thank you so much. So what do you think about inclusion in ads and social media? Amazing. I think it actually might be time for us to get a real purple goat in.
Hi, I'm Gina and I'm the campaign manager at Purple Goat.
Gina, have you seen a trend in brands using their mascots to almost personify themselves a bit more and give these mascots a personality?
I would say I've seen a rise in brands using mascots. I think a physical mascot gives a brand character, personality, and it brings that brand to life quite physically. And beyond, a logo, it's recognisable. And I think for audiences, that's something to engage with, something to relate to, but also it can create a bit of a community, and it makes all of that a lot more approachable and understandable for an audience. You might be thinking, well, my brand doesn't have a mascot. What do I do now? Well, the answer's simple. You can use influencers or even celebrities to level up your brand and provide some personality. So we always see brands that use the same celebrities or celebrities who have affinity with brands. I'm sure you can think of someone who you immediately relate to a brand. I know I can. So you might think of Stacey Solomon for HelloFresh or the Gymshark athletes, and you immediately associate those influencers with a brand or even a campaign or product. And that immediately, for me, makes that brand not only recognisable but relatable. I can understand that brand's values, character, personality just from knowing Stacey Solomon and her brand, character and personality. And it immediately creates an association and therefore creates brand personality. So this is why using influencers as brand ambassadors or affiliates can actually be really beneficial to your brand, because you're putting out your personality and character, and also you're creating a relationship with your audience. Audiences will follow an influencer for a reason. So if they see a brand or product being regularly used by that influencer, they're more likely to trust the brand, trust the product, and go back and use it themselves. So, it works really well for audience retention and ultimately campaign conversion. You might be wondering, what's the difference between an ambassador or a regularly activated influencer? Now, an ambassador will represent the brand. So they may create content quite regularly because of gifted products. They might have a discount code, and that content is not necessarily regulated by the brand, but also not reviewed to a particular brief, but more so made in the ambassador's original content style whilst talking to the brand or specific brand messaging or specific product messaging. Influencers who are reactivated will be activated for specific campaigns. They might be included as part of a wider marketing strategy. They'll be given a specific campaign brief, and you can potentially, as a brand, be a little bit more prescriptive over what they're creating, and you can tailor it more to that wider marketing strategy that you're using at that time, whether it be a summer campaign, a Christmas-based campaign. So it might give you a little bit more autonomy over the influencer. In my personal opinion, I think as we move more into influencer marketing and see that as more mainstream, we see a crossover more of those ambassador and reactivated style influencers. And I think that's just the autonomy that the brand want to have, but also that the influencer wants to have. And it's how much flexibility the brand wants to give to the influencer and basically what they're striving for with their content. So we've brought our giant purple goat to Buttercup Sanctuary for Goats, and here's Ben to tell us more about what they do.
So Buttercup Sanctuary for Goats started about 35 years ago now, 1989, and we are the first UK registered goat welfare charity, meaning that we solely dedicate ourselves to the welfare of goats. We only became a registered charity in 2003. Before that, it was all run off of like local little fundraisers and things like that, and since then we've gone from strength to strength, I like to think. We're now open 6 days a week to members of the public who can come and enjoy all of this, among other experiences like coming down and doing a goat keeper experience for the morning, or coming to a goat encounter experience where you get to take on a little walk around the park and that sort of thing as well.
That's so cute. How many goats do you have?
At the moment it's about 115 or so. This is Sebastian, he's one of them.
And who's your favourite goat?
Me.
Okay, and
Me. It says me. People are always asking, we're always getting inquiries. We're kind of always running at full capacity, but then if the emergencies come up, we always have to make space where we can, of course, for any goats that need it, because there are always emergencies that crop up.
thanks for watching. We hope you learned something, and if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below and we'll get back to you. A big thank you to Buttercups for giving sanctuary to our giant purple goat. Make sure you go and follow them on socials to find out what name they give our lovely goat. See you next time. Country road to a place I belong, West Virginia, County Mama.